everybody, and welcome to the Absolute Football Podcast, Absolutely Non-League, the show dedicated to everything from the National League North, National League South. And as always, we are proud to announce that this podcast is in collaboration with the brilliant NL Fulltime. And just a warning to anyone watching, my internet is fluctuating and glitching at the moment, so there is a very high chance I may disappear at some point, or you'll hear my voice before my lips move. So I'm just putting out a pre-warning now. But of course, I couldn't do this alone, so I brought... Do you know what? I think this is... I love everybody else so much, but I feel like we've got a dream team going on tonight. Ben, how are you, and how's your Monday been?
It's all right. I mean, like I say, the weather aside, that's probably why your internet's playing up, because if it's like it is down here at the moment, then that would probably explain a lot. The rain's been constant non-stop today. So it's a good thing we had no game today, because I think I would have been out and that, getting absolutely drenched with my lack of hair. It's not good for the faint-hearted. So, but yeah, I'm all right, Shah. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I mean, my internet had to play up when a certain somebody's team are top of the National League. I don't want to brag. Yeah. I'm just making the most of it. You all know me. But of course, Lee, how are you, and how's your Monday been?
Yeah, it's not been bad. I been at work today, so can't always have the every Monday off, which is sad. But it's not been a bad day. Got absolutely drenched in the rain earlier. But yeah, no, it's good. Good to be back, because I wasn't on last week, but I'm back this week.
To be fair, though, we will let you off because you was at a game. You was at the game, wasn't you? So we will let you off for that one. Just want to thank Graham as well for 1/2 year. Is that half a year membership? Completed it, mate. Love that. Thank you, Graham. Appreciate your support so much. And of course, representing NL Fulltime, Rob, how are you, and how's your Monday been?
Evening, Shah. Evening, Ben. Evening, Lee. Evening, viewers. Yeah, really good. It's always a busy day for me, Mondays, but I finished working good time. And as you guys know, I actually made the pod actually before we went on air tonight, which is a bit of a first. It's been raining here too in Cambridgeshire. And it's been raining a little bit on Aldershot Town and their supporters as well lately. But we're here regardless, and always good to join you.
This made me laugh. I mean, he's having a dig at you, Rob, because you've not been on. But I can surely have a dig at him a little bit later. I'm only joking. I just wanted to say as well, thank you to everybody in the chat for joining us this evening. We do really appreciate it. And again, if you are late to joining us, please bear with me. I am having internet issues. I just blame the northern weather, to be honest. I do. Oh, it's Abby on the work account. Hi, Abby. Hope you're okay. Oh, we have got as well, Aled. Thank you so much, everybody, for supporting us and our members too. It really does mean a lot. So we are going to start in the National League South. Bear with me a second, because when it kicked me out before, my graphics have disappeared. But I've got them up now, not to worry. So, National League South results. If anybody is new that is joining us this evening, we do love it when you send in any match reports too. So, please feel free to do that, and we will read them out. If it's not me, it will be one of the guys. So, please feel free to read them out. But Ben, I'm going to come to you first, but I'm going to make you stew a little bit, because I'm not going to let you talk about your result, even though it's a positive one. You can wait.
I'm fine with that. I mean, probably the standout result to talk about is one result for me, Eastbourne Borough getting their first win on the board at last, albeit Salisbury did as well. But I think Eastbourne, for go to Maidenhead, who've been flying in recent weeks, they've been on, quite a roll. They had a bit of a iffy start to the season. A lot of questions were asked of Alan Devonshire, whether, maybe the magic had gone a little bit. And obviously they picked themselves up, but obviously he's going to have had a massive week or so, bringing back Tommy Widgington, and it's a huge 3 points for him, and what a start for him as well, because when you get there for that same group of players, and it is that new manager bounce, isn't it? They want to try and prove themselves that there will be a reaction regardless of who's in charge. But keeping a clean sheet away from home against Maidenhead is no easy feat at all, particularly with the way they play and some of the forwards they've got in their side. So, yeah, major result for them. And it's funny that I'm just glad because we got them tomorrow night. So I'm glad that they're not going to get that first win against us. So I feel a little bit less pressure now, but they will be on a bounce now. So, yeah, it'll be tough. But no, it's a great result for them now. And hopefully a kickstart for their season at last.
Rob, I'm going to come to you. Any on here that you want to give a mention to?
Yeah, I think it's a toss-up for me between Tottenham beating Hemel Hempstead again and also Horsham. I just think, here we are, look, how many games in for Horsham? 12 games in, so a quarter of the season.
Yeah.
And they sit 11th, 1 point outside the playoffs, having just come up to this level. And they didn't have the most fantastic flying start, did they, at all? I think we know from whether it's Bunch of Amateurs or Mark's appearance on other pods from Mark White from Dorking, that him and is it Dom De Paolo, are really, really good friends, and obviously just up the road at Horsham. But, obviously some circumstances at Dorking, but here we are, 12 games in, Horsham, a point off the playoffs and sitting above Dorking Wanderers in the title. And I think it's just a moment to say congratulations, really, to Horsham, because they've really found their feet at this level now. They took the lead against Tunbridge with the first half goal from Barker. Simon equalised, but Lucas Rodriguez got the win at 8 minutes from time. So, yeah, well done, Horsham.
Lee, you're not allowed to talk Worthing yet. I'm going to make you wait as well. But is there any on here that you do want to give a mention to?
Yeah, I'd sort of say the Ebbsfleet Dorking result, really. I mean, it's more looking at Dorking compared to where they finished last season. That amazing season that the National League South had, and getting to the playoff final, to this season, Dorking are really struggling. It could be they've let a few key players go. It could be they haven't brought the right players in. But, I mean, we could probably all say that's not a Mark White Dorking side that we're used to seeing that low down in the league. So, yeah, I mean, just a good result for Ebbsfleet.
Sorry, you finish, and then I just got a point on Dorking. Sorry.
It's just what is happening at Dorking? Are the players just not gelling well this season, or don't know? It's a bit of a funny one, really.
Well, I've seen them play 2 or 3 times. I follow them closely as well. Mark's not too concerned about the way that they're playing. He's concerned about their lack of quality midfielders available at the moment. And, I know any of us could say, Mark would say as well, that all teams will have their injury problems. I think Dorking do seem to have had a pretty rough hand over the last 2 or 3 years, haven't they? Just what I'd say is I'd look back to last year and I'd say they had all sorts of injury problems in the first half of last season. They gave everybody a big head start. They still finished 3 points off the title at the end. I'm not concerned for them. They're disappointed with their points total so far. They're playing pretty well. They're dominating most games. They're enjoying more possession. They're creating more chances, and it's not going their way at the moment. It's not a situation I see being prolonged, but that's just my opinion, Lee. And one of the reasons we is because there's loads of different opinions out there, right?
Yeah, I think as well to add on that. With Dorking, I've seen said it in pre-season. It's a very aging squad. They've got a number of players that have been there for a number of years. You've got Jason Pryor, who's a veteran of the non-league game. Rutherford's been around now for a good few years. Jimmy Mewett, McShane as well. These are players that have been there for a long time at Dorking. And I don't know, I think teams, come up against Dorking and they know what to expect, they know what they're playing against, because it's always the same players they're up against. And when they always make sort of 2 or 3 signings in the summer. They never, go all out and go get 7, 8 new players. Mark's never been like that. I think he's always said that he doesn't like letting players go, and he always gets very much a sentimental value to them. And maybe it's a case of, look, they need to freshen it up a little bit, bringing some younger legs in. And it is difficult this stage because everyone's starting to settle down now. No one wants to sort of move on. But like I said, I wouldn't be too concerned with Dorkings. Look, Mark's come up with bigger challenges than this in recent years, and it's probably just a little bit of a slip. I mean, going down 2-1 to Ebbsfleet is not a disgrace or anything like that, because Ebbsfleet aside, you always know they're going to be up there at the end of the season. And they even took the lead as well, Dorking. I think it took 2 late goals from Ebbsfleet to get back into it. But yeah, I know Mark won't be concerned at all. Very long way to go. But I'm going to say a couple wins and they're suddenly back in the mix again.
Definitely. One team I did want to mention who we have been, I don't want to say critical of, but one team we have mentioned a few times just because they haven't started the season off very well is obviously Dagenham and Redbridge, getting a 3-2 win against Enfield Town. A very, very late winner as well. I think it was 90+6, but a really, really good win for Dagenham because they have been struggling, haven't they? They haven't had the best start. So really, really good win for them. I just wanted to point out.
A funny moment. There's a funny moment in the commentary for that goal as well, if you've seen it. I think his name's Mike. I've met him a few times, the guy who does the commentary at Dagenham. And you could almost hear it all coming out of him because he said so many times they've conceded really late on and lost Dagenham, and it never really happens to them at home the other way. And they did. And he was so excited about that. He was like, but I haven't got a clue. I don't know who scored it, but I don't care.
Love that.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge for Dagenham. I mean, it's more huge for Lee Bradbury, though, more than anyone. He's been 100%. Under so much pressure there. I mean, they were 1-0 down at half time as well. So you can't, you can only imagine what was going on in that half time change room because they're probably thinking, here we go again. And then, they've obviously conceded a late goal as well. And then you think, right, it's just not going to happen. But I think ever since they brought Terry Harris in, back as assistant manager, they picked up 2 positive results now. A clean sheet against Torquay on the road. They've also obviously got now a last-minute winner against Enfield. Again, they're a side that they should be beating on paper. But Enfield always, a tough nut to crack they are at this level. Yeah. You never know what you're going to get from them. But Dagenham, like that's huge, 3 points for Lee Bradbury more than anyone because, pressure must have been relentless for him. But he's got to follow it up now. So it's no good winning, Saturday and not following it up with tomorrow. I think they've got Horsham tomorrow, so that'll be a real test of character to see if they can really push on now.
Another one I just wanted to give a mention to as well. I know Joe isn't here tonight, but Chesham beating Torquay United.
It's incredible, isn't it? I mean,
it's crazy.
Just when you say it as a fixture, it doesn't sound right. And I don't mean to be disrespectful to Chesham. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the fact that they're even playing Torquay, and then the fact that they've beaten them 1-0. And Torquay have relied a few times on 1-0 wins, more so last year than this year. But I guess, when it is that tight, sometimes it's going to go the other way, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've gone under the radar quite massively as well, actually, because everyone sort of picked up on them. They've one of those sides just been chipping off the results. I mean, James Duncan and Michael Murray, both joint managers. And obviously, I think I had Michael Murray sitting the gantry with me at the game last week. He's keeping a close eye on that and did the same last year. And, I think they built, pride themselves on strong work ethic. And they were so organised they were last week. And that's the thing. They're coming, to us, putting in a performance like they did there and picking up results against Torquay. Again, they're one of those sides that take, pride on scalps, and big scalps at this level. I really can't, I think I might have to go back on my pre-season predictions. I've had them in the bottom 4, but they're making me eat my words up, very much. But yeah, no, that's a great result for them. And they're, I'll say, right in the mix at the moment. I'll say just inside the playoffs. So yeah, absolute massive credit to them.
One team, I know we touched on it slightly at the beginning. I think you mentioned it, Rob, but obviously AFC Totton 2, Hemel Hempstead 1. I am just doing this because I'm just being an absolute cow. To Junior Mariah's fan club, please come and have a warning for when you say Hemel Hempstead. I get hurt when those words get spoken. No warning for you. I just wanted to add another dagger to you. I'm only joking. But yeah, to
three.
be fair though, it was a good win. And Hemel Hempstead, I know obviously, and I'm not rubbing it in, but a really good win against Yeovil. They've got a really good cup drawer as well, haven't they, away at Wigan? But Lee Allenton's men has got them doing very, very well this season, hasn't he? I think are they 5th or 6th in the league at the moment?
Yeah, they're 6th at the moment, and they hadn't lost in the last 4. So it's a really good win for Tottenham, and it takes them 3rd with 3 wins on the bounce.
They're a good side, Tottenham. We were lucky to win at their place earlier in the season, but I said after the game, I thought if they play the way they did against us, they'll get points this season. They've got a lot of experience in that side, and they've got a very together side. You could see them being the surprise package this year. I mean, you always get one of the newly promoted sides that tends to be in and around the playoff area, and I think they could be that team. I just think like if they can maintain it for 46 games, which is a hard ask when you've got some players that are getting on a little bit. And going Tuesday nights when the pitch is going to be really heavy, that might be a big ask for them. But they're going to keep enjoying the moment while they lost, because their ultimate aim at the moment will be to stay in the league first. Get 50 points, and then anything else would be a bonus for them. But yeah, what a start for Tottenham.
And 2 points a game, 22 points from 11 games. And Morgan, good evening to you. Great point you just made in the
very
chat.
Very good point.
Tyler Cordner, I mentioned it in our podcast at the weekend. First and foremost, just great to see the guy playing regularly, enjoying his football again. He's had a wretched couple of years. He's gone from the high of being picked for England C, captaining England C, getting the man of the match for England C as they beat Wales, and then getting a move to York City. And then obviously, as is well documented, it didn't work out for him. He went on loan to Ebbsfleet last year. That didn't work out great for him. And now he's gone back to the South Coast, where he's from. And he's playing every week, enjoying his football. And yeah, you're absolutely right, Morgan. It's definitely back-to-back goals, the last 2 games for Tyler Cordner. So that's great to see, because he is a really lovely bloke, actually.
I love that we've got a Tottenham fan in here. So thank you so much for joining us, Sean. If you do want to have your say as well on the game, please feel free to send us in. If anybody is new as well who does support any of these teams, you are more than welcome to send in your match report, and I will read it out for you. We have got Sam as well, our very own Sam. Rumours are the Tottenham crossbar still shaking from 2024, but I hit it from 30 yards in a youth game. The fact it was very windy was just a coincidence.
Thank God it hit the bar and didn't go in for an own goal, Sam.
Morgan has put as well, glad he's playing well, struggled so much at York. Before I come to you, Ben and Lee, I'm just going to quickly go to the chat. So one team we haven't mentioned, Hampton and Richmond 0, Weston-super-Mare 1. And Weston didn't have a mare on Saturday. They did last week, though, I think, if I'm rightly. It was either last week or the week before. They lost by quite a few goals, didn't they? So,
they lost the other week, they did.
Yeah. Very good win again for them. We have got as well, Graham, thank goodness Eastbourne got that win before they visit the Gallagher. Exactly what you said as well, Ben, wasn't it?
Yep.
Bear with me. We've got match report from Steve, obviously about the Slough game. So Salisbury 2, Slough Town 1. So he has put in his match report. Salisbury away, second worst away day of the year done. I hope Salisbury and their fun police get relegated. We turned up with 11 injured and 2 sick and couldn't fill our bench because EDS, and then bear with me, I've got part 2. Boys played Friday night. We were competitive but conceded to 2 defensive mistakes and missed 2 sitters in injury time, which really summed up the day we had. And our right back went off with a hamstring injury.
Was there any good news from that game?
No. Was the food good?
Was there a nice pie?
Yeah. You can always rely on a pie.
I'm very Steve, you'll beat us on Saturday. You always beat us at your place. We never win there, so it doesn't matter how many minutes you can put your under 18s out. We'll still lose.
Really quickly. I just want to say as well, thank you so much to the Football Terrace saying good show. Really appreciate it. We've got Flawless in the chat as well. Blessings to Shah. Big up the whole panel. Hope you're okay as well. And please do check out both of their content. Really great channels. We've got Junior Mariah's fan club. Just waiting for the National League. You better be waiting because I've got a lot to say, especially on a certain Kyle Ferguson. So get ready for it. Get ready for it.
I'm surprised that he's so eager for the National League chat, bearing in mind he's a Yeovil fan.
I know. It must just like the way I talk about the games. And we have got as well, Flawless is asking, is it Terry or KJ? And it is Terry. So thank you for coming in the stream and supporting. Really do appreciate it. Just bear with my comments. For some reason now, my internet's not playing up. It's my buttons on my laptop. Oh, man. So, do you want to do rock, paper, scissors, Ben and Lee to see who wants to speak about your game first?
I'm ready. I'm ready, Ben. Come on.
Go on.
Right.
3,
rock.
2, 1.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Has he stopped? Are you just stopping there?
I don't know. I'm looking at here and there, and it's completely different.
This didn't work out how I wanted it to.
Shah, should we do the North while we're waiting?
Yeah, we'll do a National League thing.
Ben, you got it. You go.
Oh, okay. I'm really pleased. So, but great result on Saturday at Farnborough. We were a lot more controlled. We were a lot more braver than we were against Cheshire last week. It's really weird because away from home, we seem to be better than we are at home. I just think it's because there's less pressure on the players. As soon as the boys make a couple of mistakes at the Gallagher, you get groans and moans from the stands. But I was, delighted with the way we approached it. We, got at them right from the off, to be honest. Got an early goal. John Gilbert hasn't scored since second game of the season, I think. So it's nice for him to get a goal and also get in amongst that 6-yard box, which he hasn't been doing a lot recently. And then, we sort of just kept taking the game to him, really. And probably, if I wanted to say, we should have been four up at half time. We were that dominant. They didn't really get near us. And, when you got two strikers like I have, they started with Don Polion, obviously, who's a massive threat, and very experienced forward at this level. And even when they brought Rakesh Bingham on, they didn't create anything. And I was really surprised by that because they've always caused us problems over the years. And, second half, again, we just kept it, nice and simple, kept playing it around the back, finding those wide areas. We just looked so assured we did. And second goal come, which I think I've seen a comment as well about potential offside. Yeah. You want my views on that? Bit petty, I'll be honest. Do you know what? I love Farnborough as a football club. I think they're a really good club. I've got a lot of time for them. Every time we go there, the people there are so welcoming. They give you everything you need. I was a bit surprised though. I don't know if it was their media team. It could have been someone else. Apparently, there was rumours that one of the board members that did it. But you think to yourself, read the room a little bit. They're in a bad situation at the moment. Farnborough, they're just above the bottom 4. There was a chance for Spencer Day out, which again a bit of a surprise because he's done a brilliant job there. But in the situation they're in, you can't sort of blame him a little bit. But I said no. It's hard to tell. You can't tell from one camera angle if it's offside or not. There was a leg stuck out which may have kept Gilbert onside, but I just thought it was a little bit petty because we were completely dominant in the game. They didn't create anything. The only chance they created was from our goalkeeper messing up a routine catch. Other than that, didn't get near us. So it's not taking it away from the performance. Good 3 points. Pleased for the gaffer. We just got to turn these wins these performances into home wins. We've not done it yet, and that's the thing. We've got one of the best away records in the division at the moment, but we've got one of the worst home records, and we need to sort it out because home should be fortress for us with 2,000 fans in that stadium, but it's just not been the case. So a good chance to do that against Eastbourne tomorrow, although it'll be a different test to what it would have been if we played them a couple of weeks ago. So I'm looking forward to it, but pleased that we've got back on that winning trail now, and hopefully we can start being a run again. We're only outside the playoffs, so I'm a bit surprised at the moment. So we've just got to take it game by game at the moment. It's just a bit of inconsistency, but we'll get there, I'm sure.
Just wanted to say as well, these midweek games are keeping me on my toes. I have got National League North and South, as well as a couple of National League for my graphics, as well as the weekends. And the Championship are playing midweek as well. So I'll be busy. They're keeping me on my toes.
How many greens and reds can we get Shah wrong before everyone starts moaning?
I know. Everyone stop doing it now. They'd stop poking the bear. Lee, you've been waiting very, very patiently, and Sam did add as well. It might be the first VAR on the podcast for that rock paper scissors result. But talk to us about waving.
Well, I just want the point you said about the VAR. I need to see the screen, and if Sam can have a look and let me know who actually won that, I love a decision to go my way.
A little bit of cheating going on today.
Oh, I don't know what you mean, mate. It's something going on. It was a bit shady. But yeah, I mean, a 2-1 win away, which is always nice to get a win on the road. Hinch being back at the club as well, which is a big, I think, for the fans as well, is a big boost, because, to be honest, we do love him down there.
Yeah.
So seeing him back, just as a figure around the club as well, is such a big thing. It's going to give the
Can I
fans.
just add as well, Lee? Sorry.
Yeah.
Because you did mention on here last time you were on, and you were saying about Hinch, and I know we have a joke about Ollie Pearce and everything, but you did say about Hinch, and we were like, oh no, he's probably going to wait for a job, like the Crawley job or something. And fair play, you did call it. So I just wanted to give you credit where credit is due, because a few of us like, oh no, I can't see it.
I mean, never say never to Ollie Pearce. We never said never to him. So I'm putting that out there, manifesting it. Ollie, please, we need a striker. But yeah, it's good to see him back. It's good for him to get a win away, and at Chelmsford as well. So it's nice to see a win. But yeah, hopefully it's just onwards and upwards now. And yeah, we can start climbing the table. Personally, I still don't think we're going to get playoffs this season. I could be wrong, but I think this season some of the clubs above us are just that little bit stronger. So yeah, but like we said, football is a funny old game and it can change at any point. So we just have to wait and see.
Love that. And before we move on, does anybody else want to mention anything on the screen?
I'm just quickly based on Hornchurch. And they conceded a late penalty, I'm pretty sure 88th minute, and then they've gone and scored a 96th minute penalty themselves. Darryl McMahon's just, keeps defying the odds at the moment. Look, I said they have a really good squad this year, and they'll be in the playoffs for me. But I think after 12 games, they're still unbeaten, which is, incredible, to be honest. They played against some tough sides so far, but every challenge that's sort of gone in their way, they've just taken it, with open arms. I think maybe an early FA Cup exit probably helped them, because now they can just sort of focus on maintaining that top spot, because no one seems to be able to get hold of them. I mean, Western obviously are on the edge of it, but again, they're just finding ways to win, which is what title sides do, don't they? So yeah, again, Darryl McMahon, probably deserves a lot more credit than people will give him. But yeah, it's a exciting times down there for Hornchurch and their supporters.
Just wanted to touch as well on this. I'm so sorry. I completely forgot to read this out. Hi, I was at the Chesham versus Torquay game on Saturday. Nice setup, new ground, but Chesham wasted so much time. 11 minutes extra time added. Chesham players diving and theatric near the end.
It's a sad reality of our game, isn't it? And we all accept it when our team's winning 1-0 or whatever, and we all hate it when we're losing. It's just the reality of it. If you are Chesham and you are 1-0 up against Torquay, you're going to do whatever it takes to get that result across the line.
Yeah.
Right. Let me just check this. Crying, taking a page from the Watchtower. What? I'm confused by that.
Yeah,
I'm confused,
Need some
but
context, isn't it?
yeah, I definitely need some context, especially considering if anybody was crying the other day, it was a Mr. Kyle Ferguson who did an extremely brilliant performance when he dived to the ground. I will get onto it later. When he dived to the ground, I mean, it was BAFTA, if not Oscar performance. Right, so National League South table. So Hornchurch, I'm pronouncing my H's now, but pronouncing my H's when I don't need to. Let's start again. Hornchurch are top of the National League South on 28 points. Then we have Weston-super-Mare, who are second on 25 points. AFC Tottenham are third on 22 points. Torquay United, they are fourth on 21 points. Maidenhead United are fifth on 20 points. Hemel Hempstead are sixth on 19 points. And Chesham United, they are seventh on 17 points. And in the relegation zone, we have 21st Enfield Town on 9 points. Eastbourne Borough are 22nd on 8 points. Salisbury are 23rd on 8 points. And bottom of the National League South, we have Chippenham Town on 6 points.
It's so
Just
nice to see us in capital letters again.
Just one final point on
Yeah, of course.
while we've got that table up. Look from 7th Chesham right down to 15th, just 2 points between all of those sides. So one win and you're on the edge of the playoffs, one defeat and you're lower mid-table or whatever, or mid-table. So yeah, it's incredibly close, isn't it?
Very, very close. Right. Really, really quickly as well. I just wanted to point this out. It really did make me laugh. I promise there is no feud. There is no feud. It's just nice, friendly banter. As Graham already knows. I mean, you've got to have banter, haven't you?
Exactly.
Right. So National League North. Rob, I'm going to come to you first.
Okay. Well, I guess then how can anybody leave that one alone? I want to give Dickie from NL Full Time the credit for this, but he dropped it in the WhatsApp group. First set to Spennymoor 6-4, because it does look like a tennis score, doesn't it? That one, rather than a football score. Unbelievable game, really. And Glenn Taylor only getting 1 goal. I mean, disappointed, Glenn. Disappointed. I think, yeah. So that's my one. I'll go for the 6-4. If anyone wants to put any more detail on that game, they can. The only detail that mattered to me was that Glenn Taylor only got 1 goal. Disgusting.
I don't think Chris could be bothered, to be honest. I think he'd be here all night if he does it.
We do have a match report, so I will get it up. Just bear with me a second. So, Merthyr at home. Bonkers is the word for this game. Instead of a long report, here are the goal scorers. Twanley, 24th minute, and Sambu, 31st minute for Merthyr, and for Maud, Rowe in the 42nd minute. Half time, it was 2-1 to the away team. And then we have, bear with me while I find it again. Second half, it was Ramshaw, another person who we're very familiar with, to be fair, on the podcast, Ramshaw. Reese, 55th minute, 2-3. Mondal, 63rd minute, 3-3. And then Taylor, 4-3. Mondal, 74th minute, 5-3. Rowe, 78th minute, 6-3. And then Reese, 92nd minute, 6-4 to finish the game 6-4 to Spennymoor. And very, very... I just wanted to point out as well, 4th in the table, we must have a very, very happy Chris in the chat. But I tell you what, you definitely get your money's worth at that game. 10 goals. 10. I love it. And people can never, ever say National League, like non-league, is boring when we get in results like that.
100%.
We have Luke as well. All right, everyone. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw my side get a 0-0. Was you happy with the 0-0 though, Luke, or did you want you to score? Because surely you wanted your team to score.
He did. They were up against 10 men for
Yeah.
84 minutes or something. So anyway, we'll get to that, won't we?
Yeah. Ben, is there anyone here you want to give a mention to?
Well, I mean, I suppose you've got to go with AFC Telford, to be fair. Their win against Scarborough. Obviously, Scarborough have been high flying and they've sort of been brought back down to earth a little bit. I think the start they've had is beyond their fans' wildest dreams. And Telford, to be fair, like they've had a very difficult start of the season, which again, they've been one of those sides in recent years. They've been sort of a boomerang club between National North and the league below. So, they've sort of needed to find a bit of rhythm. They're still finding their feet again back at this level. And also having to come back from a goal down. I think most of the goals came in the last half an hour as well. So you've been a goal and a goal down and had to score pretty early, I think very quickly. And then, like I say, I think you're talking about money's worth for 10 goals and that. I think all you had to do was come in for the last half hour of that Telford game and you would have paid every bit of money that you would have done to see that. But it's a great win for Telford. It sort of lifts them a little bit away from that bottom four at the moment, which is what they needed. And to be fair, a result like this is probably needed for Scarborough a little bit because it might just put them back, put their feet back on the ground for a bit. They're still not, they're only 3 points off the top at the moment. It's not a great result, obviously, for them, for obviously the standards they've set themselves this year, but it's certainly, certainly not the worst thing to happen to them. Sometimes in a result like this can sort of give you a kick up the backside again, which I'm sure it will do. But Telford, that'd be the standout if it weren't for spending those 10 goals in that game.
And big up Telford for scoring 10 goals in 2 games because they put 6, didn't they, past Darlington in the FA Cup last week. So all of a sudden it's really clicking for them after what you say is a difficult start. I watched them play at Bedford no more than a month or so ago, and I didn't see this coming. But goals breed confidence, don't they? And winning games breeds confidence. So Telford, flying at the moment.
Just really, really quickly before I ask Julie as well, Chris has put, apart from Spenny's game, what a win for Southport away to Oxford. They needed that result badly. They really, really did. Obviously winning 2-1, a very, very big win for them. But Lee, the floor is yours.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, I just want to say as well, on the Spenny Moore game, I was actually at a game last Tuesday that had 13 goals, not just the 10 goals.
Probably cost you money as well.
Yeah, it was money well spent, 7-6. So it wasn't a bad game at all for my local side. But I would have to say, standout game for me, Macclesfield. I think doing really, really well without Robbie Savage there, and obviously he took some key players. But in my eyes, it hasn't really affected them too much. They've sort of, back in National League, and they're doing well. They haven't had the headache of Robbie leaving and having to find a new manager and bring players in, and they've sort of new manager, players have gelled, and a nice home 3-2 win over Curs Ashton.
I just wanted to point out as well, I'm pretty sure Curs and Ashton, Charlie Weston plays for them, who we had last season at Dale, and I'm pretty sure he might have scored. But I may have dreamt that, so I don't know why I'd be dreaming that, but I'm pretty sure he did. Rob, I'm going to come to you again. Any more on here that you do want to speak about?
Yeah, I'm just gonna mention results-wise, it's not massive, but 2 draws here. Peterborough Sports 1, Alfreton 1. Notable because you've obviously got your main man's gone in there at Peterborough Sports from Kidderminster. His name's escaping me now. The former Premier League manager, whose name is escaping me. Help me, guys.
No, that's not him, is it? No.
I
remember
it's Kidderminster's. What's it called? Kidderminster's ex-manager. It's gonna.
What, Phil Brown?
Phil Brown, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's just a momentary blindness. Sorry about that. Phil Brown, obviously been there a couple of weeks. got their first win, didn't they? And then Alfreton Town, who have now appointed a manager called Buxton, just to confuse everybody.
Yes.
So that one ended 1-1. And a word for Bedford Town. Obviously, we've been raving about Radcliffe lately. They've been flying, haven't they? Been getting the wins, scoring plenty of goals. And they will have really fancied beating Bedford on Saturday. But another clean sheet for Bedford, another clean sheet for Nathan Ashmore. Is that one of the signings of the season? Nathan Ashmore going to Bedford on loan.
That's the thing. I think, let's say, your goalkeeper is only as good as your defensive at the end of the day. But then again, Matt Ashmore is someone to control that back four. And if you have breed confidence from your goalkeeper, that helps the defender so much, I find. Like at any level of football, you need that. You need that sort of trust in your keeper. And we know Ashmore capable. He is one of the top keepers in and around this level of football. And yeah, again, like it could be huge for them. Because sometimes, goalkeepers can get you a good amount of points and get you 10, 12 points a season, from keeping your size in games. So, yeah, I would vouch for that, saying it's probably one of the signings of the season so far in National North. They've got a fairly good basis of a squad, though, Bedford. Like, so we've already talked about Jeffers and Marsh going in there. That's a lot of goals between them. But like I say, at the back, it's quite key. They just need to, if they can just limit, games even just to one goal, they've got goals in them. And again, obviously didn't come to fruition, but against Radcliffe is not a bad point for them when there is on the road where Radcliffe have been ruthless in recent weeks and been flying up the table. So that's probably be some good momentum for them going into the midweek fixtures.
Definitely. I just really want. Yeah, I was right. I'm not just dreaming about National League North football. I mean, at least I'm dreaming about football, to be fair. We've got as well, great show, by the way. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate that. This one as well. Pleased to see Marine back to winning ways. Tough games coming up next, so against Scarborough and Fylde, which will be proper tests. Do you know what, right? I knew Marine were doing fairly decent, but doing my graphics, I was actually really impressed to see where they are. Obviously, they're 11th in the table. So fair play to Bobby Grant. I'm getting carried away. Just doing it for Junior Mariah's fan club. I'm only joking. But yeah, really good for obviously Bobby Grant, ex-Rochdale. And I did mention as well to people in the chat, I was a really big fan of him at his time at Rochdale as well. So it's always nice to see him doing well. But yeah, I was really surprised to see the position in the league, to be fair.
Mention their goal difference as well, isn't it? Because they're -8, they're sitting the points outside the playoffs. I know they've taken a few heavy defeats, but at the end of the day, like it just shows. Obviously, goal difference matters if you're going for a league title or something. But at the end of the day, as long as you're winning your games, it doesn't matter if you get beat 3 or 4. You can win games 1-0. I'll take 1-0s all day long. Particularly, I always say, I think I said it the other week that winning 1-0 away from home is the best result I think you could hope for. To be honest, I think for Marine, they won't mind going down, taking a few drubbings if it means they can stay, in that area of the table. Because if they could take a top half finish, I think they would have, they'd been better than what they probably predicted at the start of the season. Because a lot of people tipped to go down.
Anybody got anything else that they do want to speak about? Obviously, in National League North.
I've just got to say really that I think I need to apologise to Radcliffe because I had them as going down this season. And I've looked at National League South as well, and a few of those teams that I said are in the playoffs. So I do apologise to all the clubs that I said are going to get relegated. It's completely thrown it out.
Yeah. Long way to go, though. And we should mention South Shields, really, because we're almost going to do what we did in the South, which is almost not mention the league leaders.
Yeah, that is true.
And same for South Shields, 2-1 against Hereford. Just job done, and 3 points at home, and on they go to the next.
I think, quick word on Darlington as well, actually, after taking huge battering, obviously, like I say, at home last week to Telford, and they've lost to Buxton before that as well. That probably would have been, Steve Watson would have been asking for a reaction there. He's an experienced manager, in the 6th and the 5th tier. So, and I quite like Steve Watson as a character, and to go away from home. Leamington's a difficult place difficult venue because it's very different to a lot of the venues in National North, where you've got some ex-league clubs and big clubs that have been in the National League. They're probably one of the smaller clubs in that division, you know, when you look at the surroundings they've got. But for Darlington, yeah, that would have been massive for them to get back on, you know, to winning ways, really, because, you know, there would have been some pressure mounting after, you know, a huge disappointment at that stage of the cup as well. But I think Jack Maskell getting the winner for them. I think it was a late winner as well. So yeah, pleasing result for them, and a nice long journey back as well for those Darlington supporters.
Just wanted to say as well, thanks for everyone for your great support tonight. If you're enjoying the show, don't forget to like the live and subscribe if you're not already for more content from us. We will speak a little bit about the content later when we do the socials. But yeah, thank you so much to everyone that has joined us. And if you are watching for the first time, welcome. Right. National League North table. So top of the table, we have South Shields on 29 points. AFC Fylde a second on 26 points. Scarborough a third on 26 points. Spennymoor Town are fourth on 23 points. Radcliffe, they are fifth on 22 points. Chorley are sixth on 20 points. Buxton are seventh on 17 points. And in the relegation zone, we have Southport, they are 21st on 10 points. Alfreton Town are 22nd on 10 points. Oxford City, they are 23rd on 8 points. And Peterborough Sports are bottom of the National League North on 8 points. Right, let me just quickly have a look at the chat. Bear with me. My laptop is going. Do you know what? It does me dirty. It'll be absolutely fine. And when I get to the comments, it starts freezing. I think it's me at this point, you know.
It'll be when you get to your Rochdale results, then it's going to cut out.
Oh, no. Junior Mariah's fan club hopes so. But I'm pretty sure if it kicks me off stream, one of you will do it justice. Right. So, National League results. Rob, do you want to talk about Aldershot yet? Do you want to get it out the way?
Yeah, get it. Yeah, can get it out the way. Get it out the way. So I've kind of been away for a week or so on holiday, and I did manage to get a live stream of the Dorking FA Cup game, and that was a much needed win for the Shots. Admittedly, they probably weren't the better team on the day, but they got the job done, and they've progressed through to play away at Weston-super-Mare, the only team in the top 10 divisions of English football that haven't conceded a goal at home yet. So that'll be an interesting one, and a new ground, and that'll be a week on Saturday. But yeah, off the pitch, obviously, Tommy Widdrington resigned. There's been a little bit of a mixed atmosphere at Aldershot lately. Obviously, people do very much remember Wembley in May. It's not that long ago. It was a magnificent day for the club to win a trophy. Really brought Tommy Widdrington an awful lot of credit. But in all fairness, despite woeful injury problems, the side haven't been getting the results this season. Very few wins, just outside the relegation zone. Struggling, of course, with those injuries and struggling defensively. Not going forward. They finally now been overtaken at the end of October by Carlisle as the top scorers in the division, but they do have a minus goal difference, and it's been very difficult. There was a few people calling for Tommy to go. I think the majority was still behind him, but for whatever reason, he decided that his time at Aldershot was done. Now, there's lots of opinions out there about this, and frankly, none of us know what happened. All I will say is he left in a very similar circumstances to how he left Kings Lynn 2 or 3 years before. He resigned, and within 24, 48 hours, he appeared somewhere else as manager. That has happened again. Read into it what you want. There's mixed feelings at the club about Tommy going. Some will say he got us a trophy. You know, no one's done that since Gary Waddock in 2007, 2008. And others will say matters needed addressing. The team were not performing to a level that was sustainable or the league place sustainable. So it's difficult. There may have been some people on the board that were starting to get close to questioning Tommy's time there anyway. Now, if Aldershot had sacked Tommy Widdrington, they would have had to have paid up. They'd have had to pay up salaries, wouldn't they, or agree something. So twisting this right round to a view that no one's taken by walking. Tommy said he felt there was a problem at the club, and as he couldn't see it being resolved, he removed himself. So Aldershot should be grateful that they have a clean slate to go and employ somebody else, or to allow one of the current ones there to step up. Alan Dowson, very experienced manager. He's homing in on 1,000 games. So he's a really safe pair of hands in the meantime. He's a really passionate guy. I think he's got his own ideas, and I think he'll be given, certainly for a few games, the opportunity to try and pull things around a little bit at Aldershot. I think, considering everything that happened in the week, the players, the fans, Alan Dowson, James Henry, were pretty much in the right frame of mind on Saturday. Unfortunately for them, they come up against a bloody good Tamworth side who are flying. They're in that top 10 again for a reason, because they're a good side, and they left Aldershot with all 3 points thanks to a 97th minute winner. To be fair, Aldershot took the lead when Tamworth were the better side. Tamworth were controlling the game more in the second half, but Aldershot looked more like scoring. It was 1-1 locked level for the whole second half. And there's nothing worse, lads, is there, in football, and Shah? There's nothing worse in football than being level in a game, pushing for a winner, thinking that you might get it, hoping that you might get it, and then you go and concede in the last minute and you get absolutely nothing for your endeavours. I felt gutted as an Aldershot fan, gutted for the fans, gutted for Alan Dowson, but I'll take nothing away from Tamworth. They were very, very good. They deserved the win, and Aldershot just have to get on with it, really. That's what happens in football. Very, very mixed feelings, really, about the whole Tommy thing, but grateful for what he did at the club.
Yeah. Ben, I'm going to come to you next. Any on here that you do want to speak about?
You'd usually say at the stage, like at the beginning of the season, when you saw the odds and that York City 4, Wealdstone 0 would have been a given result, to be honest. But given the context of things of how they've started, that's a tremendous result for York. Again, Wealdstone, they're probably playing with probably no pressure. I know amongst the good starts of the season, I'm sure Sam Cox has kept his expectations the same, because the aim for Wealdstone is to stay in the division, as it always is for them. They are one of the smaller clubs that are always bantering around that relegation zone. But for York as well, they sort of needed a big result, a little bit. But then again, obviously, on the highs of, sorry to mention, Shard, the cup win last week.
That's fine, don't worry.
A couple of goals for Pearce as well, as usual. And they just seem to be clicking now after, like I said, what been a very tough start. And obviously, maybe in hindsight now, maybe it was a good decision to let Hinch go, because Maynard's gone in now. He's brought it together, and they're back on that winning trail again, which is what they needed at the end of the day. So I know we're going to have a happy Morgan in the comments, we will, but yeah, that'd be my standout.
It's like you heard you, Ben, because
no.
Morgan is in the chat and he's put, I wasn't at the York game, so I'll try to give a decent report on the game. Wealdstone had some decent chances and gave it a go, but we just controlled it and we were much better. Fair enough. Lee, I'm going to come to you next. Any on here you do want to speak about? Oh, 1 minute, sorry. 1 minute. Morgan's still typing his match report. Hold on a minute. Pearce scoring twice from open play, and Fagan Walcott is the best player in the league. Should be in League One and not non-league. Do you know what? He is a very, very good player. I will give you that, Morgan. He is a very good player. Lee, any on here you want to talk about?
Yeah, there's go. I was say as well how happy Morgan is, but Morgan, don't worry, I'm manifested. Pearce is coming back. I'm going to keep saying it all season. Next season, he's going to come back. But I just want to say, really, is obviously Jen's not here tonight, and
Oh, I
you know, she
know.
probably put her perspective on it, but I really do feel for Morecambe at the moment. They went through all that business trying to get the owner out. They finally got him out. There was like light at the end of the tunnel. The new owners came in, amazing recruiting all these players that they did. But I don't want it to sound harsh, but I think they've got the wrong manager. I think more than anything, I know he hasn't. I don't think he's had a proper full-time manager's position, has he?
Not in senior football.
I could be wrong. Yeah, and I just think with everything they've got right round the club, I think at the minute the one weak point is the manager that is letting them down, because they're in the bottom at the moment, and you really don't want to see Morecambe go down again this season after everything the fans have been through. Good 3-0 win for Southend on the road. Like we said, any team wins on the road, it's a good result. But yeah, I just feel maybe Morecambe need to maybe look at the manager now and be like, okay, it hasn't worked. It's still early on in the season. We've still got time to get out of this. But yeah, just sort of that game, really a good win for Southend, but I really do feel for Morecambe.
It was always going to be a season of transition, though, for Morecambe, like regardless of who they brought in, or even if they just kept what was in place. But I think even Jen said it, in pre-season, that the ultimate aim for Morecambe is to stay in the division and then build on for next year. But that's the thing. I'm just a bit, I'm a bit gutted for them. Like they were in.
Yeah.
They're in such a great pace. Obviously, they got the opening day win against was it Altrincham, and you just think like, oh, they're back and everything like that. And they just like something. I've watched the highlights from some of their games, and their defending is just atrocious at the moment. And I do feel for their fans, because it has been tough. But at the end of the day, if they are to go down, they'll come. For me, I think they won't take them long to come back up, to be honest. But then again, they need to get a right appointment in. I mean, I think Jen's joined us in the comments now. Hello, Jen, by the way. I think I'd love to say your take on it, because I think we're a bit gutted really on what's going on with Morecambe at the moment, because they need to pick up some, a couple of decent results, not just one, and then going back to 3 defeats in a row. They need a good run of results, and otherwise they could well be on their way to National North.
Definitely. One thing I just wanted to add as well, sorry. I don't usually speak about negativity in the chat, but if anybody is going to come in here on the chat and be either racist or be negative, you are going to get banned and you are going to get kicked out. I did read a comment there, and to the person who has put the comment, you are now banned from the stream. So I'm just making everybody aware. Usually this community is absolutely brilliant, but if you are going to come on and be an idiot, I am going to embarrass you in front of everyone. I'm just letting you know. Right.
Well
sorry about that.
No, well done. Well said, Sharp.
Well done.
Good, and that's why it's important that you do, and it's a great job that you do, trying to host the pod and keep an eye on all those comments and then throw them up when they are relevant. And so, yeah, good work. I don't know if you can see whether it says Jen is typing or not, whether we're going to get anything from Jen on Morecambe. But I just wanted to add this. I know Ashfir Singh Jahal came in and he said, "Judge me at the end of October," I think, didn't he? And we're almost there, but even that might have been, a little optimistic. I don't think anybody can underestimate just ridiculous, really, how ridiculous it is having to sign on that many new players. Literally would have had agents offering him all and sundry, and you look how long people normally spend trying to take care of every fine detail of recruitment. He will have had to take flyers. He will have had to take chances. And so it's on him, but it's not all on him. Yeah. And there might need to be a little bit of coming and going as well yet, for them to get it right. And there is a whole season. The season has 46 games. Not, Morecambe are still a game or two in hand, aren't they? So I don't know. Obviously, we'd massively respect whatever Jen's opinion is, because she's watching them in pretty much week in, week out, isn't she? So, but it is tough. And And I'm not convinced that just changing the manager already straight away is the right thing. But at some point, they'll have to consider that.
Definitely. And I think what people need to realise as well, like just the ones like Jen said who have gave him abuse, because I've seen a lot of negativity about him on social media. And I feel like, and I've always said this from the moment I've done a football podcast, like we are fans that pay hard-earned money to support these clubs. So you can criticize a performance, but you do not ever get personal towards any of them. Like the performance in itself, we have our right to, because we're paying money to watch them. So you can say, yeah, the defense haven't been very good, or oh yeah, it's not been a good performance, or yeah, we could do better. I get that. But, and you can get frustrated, but one thing that I do not ever want to see is somebody being disrespectful about a person. And it ties in really well with an interview I saw about Robbie Savage the other day in his interview. And he was like, I like having banter with people. I'll have pictures with any fan. I'll have pictures with away fans, but don't ever get personal. It's getting to a point with him now as well, where people are just, people feel comfortable abusing people, and that's something I do not like, because at the end of the day, they're in the limelight, they are human beings, and especially with Ash and Markham in particular, like the pressure is on him. I actually think that there's more pressure on him because of the situation what happened with Derek Adams as well. Like there's a lot of pressure on him anyway. It has to prove himself, and there might be people, I was one of them at first, where I thought, I don't really get this appointment, because with Markham, and it's like you kind of putting pressure on yourself. You want to stay up, and somebody who's not got that experience, but I do see the vision, and I want him to succeed, because I do see the vision in the football he wants to play. I just think at the moment it's not necessarily gelling, and the defence, obviously, they are leaking a lot of goals, but I think that's the style of football that he does want to inherit and stamp and embody on them at the moment. But what I don't like to see is people being racist and people being horrible towards him, because that's just disgusting. At the end of the day, he's a human being. It has feelings, and people have seen what can happen to people and the impact it can have. So I just wanted to say, and yet again, anybody who does come in here and does, there's very little of them, but anybody who does put any negativity towards anybody or get personal, I will ban you. And like I said, I will embarrass you.
Just want to say quickly on what Robbie Savage was saying in that interview the other day. One thing that really got me as well was the woman presenter. I don't know her name, but when he was talking about it, she went, well, you know, you are a bit of a celebrity. And he was like, yeah, but that, you know, that's not even a question that should be asked to him. It's like, just because he's a bit of a celebrity, a well-known footballer, and back in the day, you know, when he played, he did used to wind people up, but you don't say that sort of question, and it's disrespectful to him. But also, like he said, which I some way could agree with him, that even he said, you know, they get personal, they've got like that. Again, I don't think the league will do anything about it. And he said, that's just my opinion, but you know, maybe they will, maybe they won't. I mean, they should clamp down on the club for their fans saying that sort of stuff. But again, I'm sort of saying that I don't think they will.
No, it's getting more and more, isn't it, to be fair, in football at the moment.
Well, I think... Go on.
Oh, no, it's fine.
No, I was just going to say, I think we're giving that, a fair crack. I think we're all unequivocal on that. We're not going to accept that. We're not going to condone that behaviour. What Robbie Savage would want us talking about, not so much the result.
Just
but
1 minute, Rob. Just 1 minute. I've got the Southend Markham match report off Derek. Sorry. 1 minute. Have I got the start of it? Oh, right. Merritt has put Markham, get a decent manager in, they'll be fine. Got some really good players. They did give it a go in the second half, but we did control the game. Sorry, all my comments are here, there, and everywhere. And he has put, you were right, no pressure season. Players just put together out of nowhere, but I do think an experienced manager would have been the best option. And he has also put, To be fair, if they didn't hit the bar in the second half, it could have been a different story. They did have their chances. So, yeah, that was obviously merit. He is a Southend fan. But, yeah, Rob, Forest Green, Lyle.
No, I don't envy you trying to, because I mean, the great thing, the really positive thing out of this, you're getting ridiculous amounts of interaction on the podcast.
Amazing.
And we love that. We love that. So that's really, really good. It's one of the reasons I particularly enjoy coming on here, because the way our format is on our own podcast, NL Full Time, we're just chatting to each other and whoever's there, and we don't get the interaction. So I love this. I was just going to say, Robbie would want us talking about the football, and obviously it wasn't the result for his side on the day, but what a brilliant game. I have only seen the highlights, but they went on forever because there were so many chances. Forest Green could easily have taken the lead in that game. They had 3 of the first 4 decent chances, but Regan Linney did what Regan Linney does. Couple of cracking finishes. Forest Green levelled each time, and then they had Laurent Mendy sent off, didn't they? Held out until 6 minutes from time, and then went 3 and 4-2 down. Great advert for the National League. 2 cracking front foot sides. We'll look at the table in a bit. I think there's only 3 points between them now. Those 2 teams are very much in it.
Carlisle as well, from a Carlisle point of view, obviously. Who scores again? Regan Linney. I mean, very, very good season he's having so far. Do you know what's frustrating though? Every time I think Manny Desirue is going ahead of Regan Linney, they both end up scoring exactly the same. And I'm pretty certain they've got similar assists and same goals at the moment, which is so frustrating. But yeah, a really good game as well. I did catch some of that game, and I think Forest Green actually played really, really well. I know obviously the finishing score was 4-2, but before obviously Mendy got sent off, I really did think Forest Green played very, very well. So yeah, it was a real top of the table kind of clash thing, and it had so much entertainment. So yeah.
And just quickly, Shah, on the scorers in the league, they do have 12 each. But Manny Diasarue has got an FA Cup goal as well. So he's ahead. He's on 13. Well. What you don't want that to be unlucky for some. You don't want to get stuck on 13.
That is true. We want him to score 26, another 13, and that's only by the end of November. Is that me just being too much now?
No. Hey, on that score, Shah, you always wait till the end. Your team's gone top of the table again. Why don't you talk about Rochdale and South and Yeovil?
Oh, definitely will, because I know Junior Mariah's fan club has been waiting for this. I know this is going to be its highlight of the show. This has annoyed me, and he knows as well. I don't know if anybody else has seen the pathetic Kyle Ferguson, and this is what annoys me more. It was the pathetic, when they throw themselves on the floor and start rolling around. But it all came first from it was Kyle Ferguson who did instigate it, because it rubbed Disarue's head, went like that. Which obviously I feel like it's something that you don't really do. It was quite he went like that and rubbed his head, and obviously Manny Desirue didn't like that, so he shoved him. But Kyle Ferguson, being Kyle Ferguson, fell on the floor, rolled around, and honestly, it was a top performance. He deserves a BAFTA at this point. So credit where credit's due. It was an amazing performance if you were an actor. If you're on a soap, if you're in a film, I would give it to you. But I just don't get why you did it, because it had such a positive response of our fans, because we liked Kyle Ferguson. It was just one of them things where you've got Ebank Flandel, you've got Liam Hogan, you've obviously got Sam Beckwith at the time, you've got Kyron Gordon. So it just didn't really get a game. And there was nothing against us. There was nothing against him, sorry. We just didn't really see much of him. So we got a really good response off the home fans. But then after that, every time he got the ball, all our fans were booing him, of course. But from a game point of view, I thought it was a really, really great performance from Dale yet again. I think I don't want to really call Yeovil, but I thought Yeovil were very, very poor. And from what I've seen, obviously on Twitter as well, Yeovil fans have said the same, that they just didn't see anything from Yeovil, which obviously I did want to take that into context as well. But Rochdale again, 3 goals in the first half. Obviously Manny Desirue got 2, and then Ryan East, another one. He scored his 3rd goal of the season. One of my favorite players, Ryan East. I'm glad he's scoring goals now and contributing, because it's something he really, really deserves. But yeah, a really, really good professional performance yet again from Dale. When we did go 3-0 up, he made some changes then. Took Desiree off as well, because obviously we don't want anything happen to him. Brought Amanchi on then, who, to be fair, he did look really, really promising, Amanchi. We've not seen too much of him, but yeah, it did look promising. But yeah, can't really say much else apart from obviously another clean sheet as well. I think we've got the best defence in the league at the moment. Only, I think, is it 5 or 7? I think is it 7 we've conceded? I'm pretty sure it's 7. Yeah. 7 we've conceded, but we've obviously, I come on here week in, week out talking about our defenders and how incredible they are. Again, Kyron Gordon, brilliant going forward as well. An assist as well for one of the goals. But I just wanted to give credit to Oliver Watmuth, our goalkeeper on loan from Manchester City. He is absolutely brilliant. And to say he is only 17 years old is absolutely crazy. He is so mature. He's so mature. He commands that back line, the communication, everything about him. He is going to go to the top. I'm saying this here and now. He's going right to the top, that kid. He is absolutely brilliant, honestly. And I am just hoping and praying, because we've seen it before where we've had a goalkeeper on loan for a season, but then halfway through the season, an EFL club looks at them and then their parent club wants to challenge that player to see how they're doing. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, we have Oliver Watmuth for the full season, because what an incredible goalkeeper he is. And I just wanted to give him credit. And that's all.
Yeah, that is ridiculous, isn't it? 7 goals. I can confirm that. I'm just looking at the table. 7 goals conceded. And, you know, it will be really hard for you at any given point to look objectively at this National League and to say how confident you are, Rochdale, because there's just so much emotion in it and you want them to do it so badly. I can't see any reason why Rochdale can't continue this assault for the title. They're going to be up against several teams rather than just one or two. And there might be an element of safety in those numbers, because teams will take points off of each other. But you're creating plenty of goals, you're scoring plenty of goals, you're barely conceding any. Would you say that you are defending really, really well, or are you just dominating games to the extent that the majority of the play is in the other 2/3?
No, I feel like we're defending really, really well as well. I know obviously we are a possession-based team, but when we need to defend, we are doing it very well. And that's something last season that we did have our little blips and stuff, but at the back, obviously, it didn't play at the weekend. Ethan Ebanks-Landell, I just want to congratulate him, our captain, because it was because he was at the birth of his child. Him and his partner have had a little baby boy, so congratulations to him. But Liam Hogan came in, and he did absolutely brilliant there. And obviously, you've got the likes of Kyron Gordon and Sam Beckwith there. They defend really, really well. But I think certain games, it depends, because we do what we need to do, our defence, which obviously you want your defenders to do. But if this was this time last season, we weren't really doing the basics. Whereas this season, I feel like at the moment, touch wood, because I'm not getting carried away, we are showing a little bit of a different kind of mentality, which is really, really good to see. I've said it previously as well, where I feel like Jim has brought in some real good recruits on the backroom staff. So obviously he's a defender. And I know I mentioned it to all you guys last season, where I was like, Jim just has this defender's mentality. We need to break that from him. But then obviously he's brought in Jason Taylor, who played at the club, who's a defensive midfielder, Matty Doan, who's more of an attacking player. And something that I haven't mentioned, sorry, but it has come to my occurrence in the last couple of weeks. Ian Henderson isn't necessarily taking part in games or having a place on the bench, but before the games, he's actually been coaching some of our strikers and, our attacking players. So I've got a feeling Ian Henderson at the moment, even though he is classed as a player, he may be getting ready to kind of add to Jim's backroom staff, which will be vital as well, because all of these people he's added bring a different kind of flaw. They're all different positions, and Josh Lillis is well included in that, who is our goalkeeping coach, but they all have an attachment to Rochdale as well, which is obviously incredible. So I'm not getting carried away, because we've all seen what happened last season. And obviously I don't want to get carried away, but it does seem a little bit different at the minute compared to last season, which is obviously a plus. And I just wanted to address Merritt in the chat, because he's obviously said about, for a team who are top of the table, we've not got a very big crowd. And that's something Rochdale have never, ever had, to be honest. I'm not making up excuses, by the way. It's just from when growing up, there's always been like a sense of attachment towards like your Manchester Uniteds, Manchester Cities. You've got Wigan, you've got Bolton, Blackburn, Bury, Oldham, and we've never had big crowds, to be fair. And it's something that all of us fans are trying to work on. The community are working on. Obviously, the Ogden family are really working on as well. And I think it's been a bit difficult in recent seasons, because we've obviously had a lot of issues off the pitch. So that's one of the reasons why we're not getting the crowds. And we've been known for never getting the top crowds, whereas your Berries, your Oldhams, and the lower side of the leagues like that and Boltons have obviously getting a lot higher crowds. So yeah, I'm not really sure on that, but it's something that everyone is trying to work on in the community.
Yeah, brilliant. And you've got a couple of games in hand on some of the teams, one or two games in hand on them as well. So and still the only team in the National League not to draw a league game yet.
Yeah. I'm not getting carried away, because obviously our two games in hand is obviously Southend at home and York away. So obviously some real tough teams. Obviously we have been beat by York this season in the cup. I don't think we played particularly great that game, but the promising thing is at the moment is this time last season, I came on and said, we just can't beat the top teams. There's just something different about us, but we've already beat Carlisle. We've already beat obviously Forest Green this season. So you've got to take every game as it comes. And obviously at the weekend we've got Woking away. I don't think they're going to be any pushovers either, to be fair. I think they could cause us some issues and problems. So yeah. And yeah, I did Morgan. we got beat, and I'm happy to admit that.
Oh, you had to bring you down right at the end there.
I know.
Yeah. Well done, Morgan. Well done.
Yeah, but you just mentioned Woking, so we might as well link in quickly, haven't we? A really good win for them away at Alty, who are perhaps the most surprising name of the teams down in the bottom 8 at the moment. It's just not working out for Phil Parkinson this year, is it? Much needed 3 points, precious 3 points for Woking. Big result that. Yeah,
very big result, and I know from an Altrincham perspective as well. It's worrying in a way, and they've lost some real key players, haven't they? But you could always rely on Altrincham, even if they did lose some key players, you could rely on them, and they're always pretty consistent. But at the moment, it's not working out. Like you said, Rob, and it's a little bit of a worry, isn't it? Little bit of a worry.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not easy to keep replacing players like Chris Clark and Regan Linney. Alex Newby, you could go on with the list, but I think they'll be all right in the long term. I think they do well to stick myself with Phil Parkinson. But speaking to Tom Jolly, who's a little bit involved with our podcast now, there is a little bit of a mixed kind kind of atmosphere there at Altrincham at the minute. There's one or two people calling for Phil Parkinson, but quite often when we're looking at the league, we talk about him as one of the better and more experienced managers as well. So it can't always be just change your manager, can it?
Exactly. I completely agree. And we do have Christian as well. He's put a win against Markham tomorrow and nosebleed territory. Top half of the Pilgrims won't be easy. And speaking of them, they did get a draw against Scunthorpe. A very good point as well, to be fair, because Scunthorpe have been doing well, haven't they, so far this season? They have.
Yeah. Sorry, I feel like I'm talking too much, but I must make a point for Christian here. Outside looking in, that's a good point for Boston. They were gutted. It was a very dubious penalty that Scunthorpe were awarded. I've seen the footage. Sometimes, players just try stuff in the penalty area, don't they? Where they actually end up going down, but maybe they've initiated that move. That's how it looked to me as a neutral. And on this particular occasion, the referee bought it. Christian was actually really, really gutted that Boston didn't beat Scunthorpe the other day. Obviously, Scunthorpe, a terrific record this season, massively overachieving. But that's a derby, isn't it, of sorts, Boston and Scunthorpe. So, he was gutted. But it is a decent point. I think they're unbeaten in 5, something like that. Christian will jump in if I've got that wrong. He'll be hoping that tomorrow night they can get the job done against a Morecambe side that are struggling at the moment and get themselves into the top half.
Here's put as well in the chat. Thank you, Rob. Whitehall, a very experienced forward. Would love to have him in an amber and black shirt. He used to play for us as well. He played for our academy, I think. Whitehall. Right, we will go to Luke because he does love a 0-0, and his team did get a 0-0. Obviously, there was a sending off in this game, but he has put Brackley away, a 0-0 for my side. Couldn't believe it. But other than that, it is a decent point considering where both sides are in the table. We will go to the chat as well. He's excited because he's put South Shields versus Gateshead next season. That's going to be something. As well, Danny has put about his concerns. Altrincham are in free fall. They need to pick up some wins before the end of November because their December and January fixtures are almost all the top half teams. To be fair, though, sometimes with the teams that are struggling, they can pull off some results against the higher ones, can't they? So hopefully they will put their ideas up. A very, very good win. I did want to mention this, obviously, for Truro against FC Halifax Town, because I know a few of us did mention that we thought home form would be key to Truro, and obviously this season. So, Ben, you're familiar with Truro, aren't you, from the National League South? So, how do you feel like they're doing so far this season?
Well, I mean, they're about where I thought they'd be. To be fair, but they've picked up a couple of good wins. John Askey's got a very tough job down there. Like, for one thing, attracting players to go down there. I mean, I know they've put the full-time label on themselves this year, which, to be honest, they had no choice really. They couldn't be doing the National League as a part-time club, and that's the thing, especially with they are located in the country, but. Again, they do seem to pick up the odd really good result every so often, but I think I've said it probably like a broken record, but the home form is going to be massive for them because their place, the long journey, it will take a lot out of the teams in that. But then again, vice versa, when Truro have to go away to your Carlisles and your Gatesheads and everything. I know they've already done Carlisle, but I think they're doing okay. I mean, they got a late goal as well. Jeff Colt, I think, in the last minute, I think, got their winning goal, which. Again, in the play, I think that was pretty sure he was involved in their title-winning side last year. So they've kept a good core of the squad, which I think is what you need. I think if you're going up, you've won a division, you want to keep as many of that title-winning squad together, which I think they've done. And they've added, obviously, a little bit of quality here and there. Look, their aim is to stay in the division. There's no two ways about it. But they've just got to keep chipping off wins. And it's not one of those where they've got to win 3 or 4 games in the band. So if they could just get 1, maybe 2 wins, they'll be all right every so often. But it's a very long way to go. But there'll be still a lot of belief in there, thinking that they can do it. It's still a very long way to go, but they'll be pleased that they're not rock bottom anyway.
Yeah, exactly. One thing I did want to mention as well, I know Luke has mentioned it in the chat. But one thing I want to mention is Hartlepool's off-the-field problems, because Singh and the board decisions have probably caused their countless mid-table finish in the league and losing their EFL place. I know it was a little bit, I know we mentioned it a little bit last week about Simon Grayson and stuff, and there is a couple of Hartlepool fans who I don't think they were very fond of the decision. I felt like speaking to them, they wanted him to kind of have that little bit of time. But yeah, Hartlepool obviously drawing against Sutton United, 3 apiece. What do we make? Because both teams at the minute, Hartlepool obviously have their issues off the pitch. Sutton aren't doing very well either. Are at the moment? What are we making of their situations?
They like a late goal, don't they, Sutton? Both those FA Cup games against Farnham and now this one as well. So they're hanging in there, aren't they? They prevailed in the end in the FA Cup and they got themselves a point out of this game. Difficult to say, isn't it? Another 6-goal thriller, 3-3. Chaps, any input on Sutton?
Well, they didn't flag. I know that. So they've proved it. I think it's absolutely smashed it. Got his other booking for it. Yeah, I mean, for Hartlepool, I think they would have been going 3-2 up. Very late on the game. Jermaine Francis getting in. Lovely little flick for it, and yeah, just can't seem to hold at the moment. But I think when you do take the consideration that what they've had to put up with, not just this season, Hartlepool, but in the last probably decade, to be honest, bad ownership and the direction that the club's been going, and they've sort of upset a few people. They've been at the club a long time. They're not doing too badly, but again, for a club of their stature, they should be in around that playoff zone. That they're not, a couple wins might take them in around there. But for Sutton, it is such a massive, problem from them. But then again, I always thought their rise was, completely unexpected. I didn't envision them being an EFL club. I don't think a lot of people did, because they've always been a traditional, National League, National South club. And if they were to go down, I think it would be disastrous for them, because you look at the ground now; it's a lovely setup at Gantner Green Lane, and I think they wouldn't want to go back down, because it's such a pain to come back up again, because that South is getting much tougher by the year. But like I said, a couple of wins might take them away, but like I said, I didn't think they would be second from bottom at this stage of the season for sure. Obviously, the new manager's now got a tough job on his hands.
Yeah, I think like you just said, Ben. I think Chris has got a hard, has got a tough job on his hands. But then also you got to look at he said what this is his 4th game in charge,
something like that.
2 FA Cup games, a lit and 2. So yeah, I mean it's just giving him time to figure out the squad he's going to use. Getting used to the formation, like it was down at Worthing. It took time to implement what he wanted to do. But then, like you said, Hartlepool, they've had a drastic downfall from where they were to now in the National League. So they're both clubs that I think are, as you said, they're a bit of bad form at the moment, but you'd like to hope that they'd come through and problems at clubs will get sorted out and that sort of thing. But again, we just got to wait and see.
Just quickly as well, we have obviously about Hartlepool and the situation. Stupid decision. He did only win 1 in 11, but he's got experience. Daft decision to sack him so early.
I think with Sutton and with Hartlepool, maybe a little bit with Aldershot, 1 or 2 other clubs as well. The brutal reality, this is a really tough league. And you always have this feeling. Let's just take Hartlepool, for example. We think big club, good football league history, been up recently. They should be in the playoffs, but they have no divine right to. They don't. No team does. And so everybody keeps throwing it back always at Jazz Singh, the owner at Hartlepool. But most people thought they signed pretty well in the summer. He brought in a manager with good experience. as soon as anything goes wrong at Hartlepool, it always gets blamed on the owner. I'm not saying that he's a perfect example of a human being or of a club owner, but there's no divine right. There's no entitlement. Something Mark White's been talking about with Dorking this week. Just because Dorking are what they are and they've done what they've done, it doesn't give them any right to go win the National League South. And it's a similar thing. And it must be hard. It must be hard for Hartlepool fans. I was there that day they got promoted, and it was absolute sheer joy for them under John Challoner. And they wouldn't have wanted to come down again as soon as they did, but they're down and they're in amongst it now, and it's a brutal division. So yeah, they may have finished mid-table. They may finish mid-table again.
You always found as well. Like obviously, I watched one of our worst ever seasons in the National League, where we won 5 games all season. You treat every game in the National League like it's an FA Cup first round game against high league opposition. That's what it felt like for us anyway. And you've got a lot of clubs in there that are just fighting for their lives just to stay in the division. But then you've got so many clubs in there, and like I say, a lot of ex-league clubs that want to get in that top 7, and there will always be disappointed clubs every year. It's like I say, like Rob saying, it's just the nature of the division. It's just so hard to get out of, and until they get this, if it ever happens, the 3 up, 3 down, it will just become. I think for me, it's the toughest league in bar maybe the Premier League, but it's the toughest league in English football for me. You only got 2 that can go up and 4 can go down. It's so difficult to get out of, and there are so many big clubs and even the small clubs. They do give it a good go. You look at your Truro and that sort of thing. They are giving it a good go at the moment. So every game is just so tough in that league. It's just unbelievable.
We should mention.
Go on, sorry.
No. Hartlepool is all good. Yeah, go for it.
Hartlepool in their last away day, fancy dress outfits are epic. I remember about 100 Smurfs and a Valley back in the day.
Yeah, I was just going to mention Luke Garrard again.
Yeah.
Boreham Wood. Perfect cocktail right now. Goals going in. 3rd top scorers in the league. So many clean sheets. And that's having pushed Nathan Ashmore out on loan to Bedford, right? Brutal. He's come back into this division, Luke Garrard, and he's showing everything he's learnt about it when he was in it before. And their form is staggering, absolutely blistering. I think got to go there in a couple of weeks' time on a Tuesday night. It's one of my nearest games. For that reason, I'm looking forward to it, and obviously catching up with Luke and Femi Ilasami, etc. But tough place to go right now.
Very tough, very tough. I think you said as well, though, Ben, in your predictions, didn't you, about Boreham Wood and how there wouldn't be any pushovers?
No, I know it wouldn't be, because the squad's a National League squad, and that's the thing. Like I always said last year, that the playoff final was the bare minimum for them. Like when you look at that side, there was a lot of players that the top National League clubs would take. When you've got an owner that pumps money in like he does, look, it's not the most attractive club to go and play for, but you go there, you look at the facilities they've got there, it is top notch. It is, for the level they play at. And they just need backing. Obviously, where you've got Arsenal and Tottenham, not far away, it's so hard to attract supporters to watch in the 5th tier. But I think if they can get, a winning side scale, which they have done the last couple of years, it is bringing supporters in, and younger supporters as well. And Luke Garrard, like I say, I think he would have been under a bit of pressure, to be fair, because a lot of Boreham Wood fans would have looked at him and thought, no, there's no reason we can't go again, because it's such an open division this year. But like I say, I think they've done tremendous. I think the style of play, they've continued from where they left off last season towards the end of last season. They've got them into a successful position where they beat us in the playoff final, and they've just carried that on. And they've got key players in there that are scoring goals, and some players are untried at that level. Like people like Matt Rush, I've talked about him a number of times. He's never really been given the chance, and he's scoring goals left, right, and centre for Boreham Wood. He is instrumental in that side. I didn't think he'd get a look in, to be honest, but fair play to him. He's absolutely smashing it at that level. So yeah, Luke Garrard, again, top marks to him. He's getting the best out of that side. And they're a side to be reckoned with at the moment. Still unbeaten, by the way, I think, since that opening day defeat against your lot, Rochdale.
I know. Just quickly in the chat, Christian's thought I make it 12 ex-EFL sides, half a division, plus Halifax, Phoenix version of a former football EFL side.
Yeah, spot on. And Morgan put in the chat, didn't he, about
Yeah,
Abdul
he
Malik?
did.
Yeah. Really, really good player, exciting player, very direct, got 2 feet, can go either way. And he's getting some finishes as well, isn't he? So, yeah.
One team I did want to mention, and I always feel so bad because we always seem to forget them, but a really, really good win for obviously Solihull Moors, Bradley Stevenson. He did score both goals, and it's just one of them teams, bless him. I feel like we never ever speak about them, and it was such a good win, wasn't it, for Solihull Moors? They are now 17th in the league. I know they've had a little bit of not a great start, to be honest. Not the start of the season that we wanted. I know, as we mentioned with Altrincham, Solihull Moors have obviously lost some very, very key players as well, haven't they, last couple of seasons? So big shout out to them against Braintree Town. But of course, I did want to bring this comment up first. So, I mean, what bringing me back down to earth. But to be fair, how many times have I said I am still not taking it as if we are winning the league or have won the league already? But Merritt has put peak too early, Shah. You just know the wheels are going to come off halfway through the season. But hey, enjoy it until we catch up, lol. Thanks.
I think the wheels coming off for Rochdale this year might be that they just only finish lower down in the playoffs. That's the wheels coming off. They're too good. Too good to finish outside that top 7 for me. Already got 8 points to 8 points safety in the playoffs already. Yeah.
Just really quickly, Adele, I didn't mention this, but I completely agree. Solihull scored from a long throw against Braintree to beat the Masters at their own trade. I love it. I love it. But yes, the National League table. So at the moment, I'm not getting carried away, everyone. As I've mentioned, we do have Rochdale. They are top of the National League with 33 points. Obviously, they do have 2 games in hand. I can't believe I'm saying they. We do have 2 games in hand. Second, Carlisle United on 32 points. Boreham Wood are third on 31 points. Scunthorpe United are fourth on 29 points. Forest Green Rovers, they are fifth on 29 points. York City, they are sixth on 25 points. I know they do have games in hand as well, 2 of them. They do play one tomorrow as well, but it is against Boreham Wood, so I will be keeping a lookout on that one. It should be a good game. 7th, we have Southend United on 25 points. And then in the relegation zone, 21st, we have Braintree Town on 12 points. Truro City are 22nd on 11 points. Then we have Sutton United, who are 23rd on 9 points. And bottom of the table, we have Markham, unfortunately, on 8 points. But obviously, as everybody can see, it is a very big goal difference. Obviously, minus 23, Markham's goal difference. So that does kind of back up what we were saying, wasn't it, about the defence and obviously the style of football that they are trying to play at the moment. But, oh no, I best not watch it then. I'm only joking, Morgan. You know I love you really. And we've not had you on here tonight, so I will watch it just so I can hear your voice.
Bombed us out. He's bombed us out and he's got a bigger gig tomorrow night.
I know.
He's resting up. He's like, no, I'm not ill. I'm not really ill. I'm just resting.
Resting his voice, eh? We know which one you prefer, Morgan. We're just riff-raff to you, aren't we? I'm only joking. And Danny is put, I will be watching Morgan. Should be a cracker. But of course, that is the end of the show. As always, we are in collaboration with NL Fulltime for our non-league show. So, Rob, where can everybody find NL Fulltime on the socials, in the podcast world, and also your own socials, if you do want to share them?
Yeah, at NL Fulltime on X, and yeah, you can pretty much find it under that tagline anywhere really. The NL Fulltime podcast comes out every Sunday evening, Monday morning. We round up the 3 divisions, similar to this, but without the interaction. Occasionally, we do have managerial and player guests as well. 1 or 2 good ones lined up in the next few weeks. But yeah, always a pleasure to come on this one.
Thank you as well for joining us. Ben, where can everybody find you on the socials? And thank you as well for coming on tonight.
Okay, as always, what I'm here for. Just keep it short and sweet. Ben Stones FC1 on Twitter.
And Lee, thank you very much as well for coming on this evening. Where can everybody find you on the socials and obviously your amazing channel as well?
Thank you. So everyone can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, and it is Football League Adventures. I will be there all week.
Love that. And if anybody does want to find me, I am SharXREFC. That is on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. My Her Game 2 stuff as well is Rochdale HGT on all of those socials. And on YouTube and Spotify, you can tune in if you haven't already to The Dale Way. It's myself, Isabel, and Leanne. We talk all things Rochdale. So definitely please check that out. But of course, we have Absolute Football Podcast, and on Twitter we are Absolute Ball Pod, YouTube and Twitch we are Absolute Football Podcast, TikTok Absolute Football Pod, Instagram we are Absolute Football Podcast _, Blue Sky we are Absolute Football, and on Facebook we are the Absolute Football Podcast. We do have 4 live shows a week, all at 8:30. So please tune in, because there is definitely something for everybody. On a Monday, you can tune into us in collaboration, as I've mentioned, with the amazing NL Fulltime. And it's all things non-league football from National League North, National League South. Tomorrow, may I add, tomorrow, right on cue, it is absolutely Premier League show. Sam, the happy man, finally, he is happy, and I'm so chuffed for him, bless him, because obviously Manchester United did beat Liverpool, and he has said, join us tomorrow for the absolutely Harry Maguire show tomorrow. Not even a little bit sorry. So please do go and check the Premier League team out at 8:30 tomorrow. Then we have Freya, Paul, and the rest of Team Chaos for Absolutely Women's Football. They cover WSL and WSL2. And then, of course, you can catch me again on Thursday for all things Absolutely Lower League. We do cover the EFL Championship, League 1 and League 2. We will be talking about the weekend's action, and I know there is some midweek action too, especially in the Championship. It is a game week for them, and I think there's the odd couple in League 1 and League 2. So please support all of them. If you are new, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, honestly, please do. We'd really appreciate that. And as I said, there's something for everybody with all the shows that we are doing. And of course, we do have other shows where we talk to people from different clubs. Obviously, our Women in Football series as well, which is in partnership with Her Game 2. At the minute, it has come to a close for season 1, but there is still time to go and check them out before season 2 does start. And again, Ben, just wanted to thank you as well for all of your hard work hosting with me, because I'm hard work for 1 show a week, never mind like 2 or 3 that you've been doing with me a week.
Oh, geez, yeah, getting sick of the sight of your voice now, aren't I? God,
Exactly.
No,
it's fine.
Char, I've just got one request for you.
Of course.
Because I think you're developing a catchphrase, which is, I'm not getting carried away. And I want to know, what's it going to take for you to get carried away? I mean, is it maybe 6 points ahead with only 1 game left, or what?
When we've actually won it, then I'll get carried away. Because like I said to everybody, last season, we bottled it 3 times in the playoffs, in the FA Cup, and in the FA Trophy. And that has literally stressed me out so much, where I cannot get carried away until we actually do win it or get promoted, then I'll get carried away that same day.
We literally will. I think we'll have to carry you away. Literally.
Yeah. And I saw Walsall in free fall hosting the League 2 one. So they've also gave me PTSD as well, because that one was the ultimate bottle job. Honestly. But hopefully, fingers crossed, I will be getting carried away. But as always, I just wanted to say a big, big thank you, not only to you guys for talking football to me, but the amazing people in the chat as well. We've built up a really good community, as I always mentioned, and we do appreciate every single one of you giving up your time to come and talk football to us, especially the people that do come in for most of our shows as well, because honestly, we could not do this without you. So thank you so, so much. Hope you all have a lovely week. And remember to tune in to Sam's Premier League tomorrow, because it will be an hour and a half dedicated to Harry Maguire. Thank you,